Hi Cancer, welcome to your year ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. To all of you that are already continued subbies, thank you so much for helping me reach the 30,000 milestone. It really means the absolute world. Thank you so much. For those of you that aren't subbies, please don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button and help me get on to my next tier. If you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And if you would like to donate to the channel for this reading, you can do so on the web link below. So before we start, I would like to bless all of my decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the year of 2019 has in store for you. Can't believe a whole year has disappeared already. So your first card out, Cancer, one that seems to have loved you for a while, for January 2019 is, bam, the Magician. Beautiful. What a way to start the year on. And actually, do you know what? It's weird because I've just pulled the card up and it was at 111 on the time of the video. Spooky. And it's the number 1, the Magician card. So in the first month of the year, like, whoa. Cancer, this is going to be a really powerful year for you. This is going to be a year where you change your status, and when I say change your status, this is about changing your status in terms of how you view yourself, but more importantly, how you communicate to the world at large. When you see the Magician card, you're always looking at somebody that is gifted, somebody that's learned, somebody that is qualified, but somebody that is a really powerful individual. You are that powerful individual, and in January, you're going to get a taste of what it is to be that powerful person. You're going to get a glimpse into who you are becoming, what last year was all about, you know, what some of the challenges that you faced, that you are continuing to face, you know, that you're meeting head on. What have they been about? They've been about building you up and building you into this strong, powerful person. What a card to start the year on, you know, and this card doesn't just happen in January. It kind of colours the whole year. This is about you becoming the best version of yourself, the most powerful version of yourself. So to clarify, let's have a look. This can be a really amazing year for you. You get the 6 of Wands. I mean, really, could you even ask for any more than that? So the 6 of Wands is about victory. It's about a blessing or a gift of some sort. It's a victory parade, you know, it's like a small win. So January is going to be full of moments of yes, of aha, of oh my gosh, can you believe this is happening? January is going to be a really powerful month for you, and it will see you lining something up for yourself, like, you know, like a snooker player or a football player. They look across the field or the board and they line things up, and then bam, they strike something home, and that's when they make the perfect shot. January is going to be a month where you kind of put lots of little things every day into place that feel like wins, so that the whole month of January overall feels like one complete and total success. But you are, you know, for some of you this is passing a driving test, for others this is you, you know, finally saying, right, I'm going to put my name down to get this under my belt. This is a small win that makes a big difference to you. So February, let's have a look. February, you get the Empress card. So February is going to be about beauty, but it's also going to be about the fertile ground. So you've taken this amazing month of January, and to build on that, February sees you asking yourself, how can I make this better? How can I get more out of this? How can I increase the yield, so to speak? I really feel like a lot of you will be getting really deeply in touch with your own beauty, deeply in touch with who you are at a deep level, and saying to yourself, right, what do I love about me? What do I believe that I can offer the world? You know, it's about building a goal and a dream, but in order to do that, you really need to understand who you are and where you're coming from. And I really feel that February will be that month for you. It's like you're going to be able to look in the mirror and say, wow, you know what, damn, I'm pretty, you know, and not just about your physical appearance, but your outer appearance as well, your internal appearance as well. So to clarify, you get the Ace of Swords. So this is about making a conscious effort to look after yourself. This is about making a conscious effort to really, you know, like I said, build the best version of you that you can build. But this is on a really physical, tangible level. Interesting, because, you know, before I said this is about your, you know, your internal, like about your internal beauty and your inner beauty. And it's going to be saying to you, like, you know, you're going to be saying to yourself in the month of February, right, you know what, I am beautiful in here and I am beautiful out here, but what can I do to improve that? What can I do to improve my health? What can I do to improve my physical, you know, my physical form, structure, shape, whatever? All of that stuff will come under fire, not come under fire, but it's like you're turning your gaze on all of this stuff and saying, right, how can I make myself more beautiful internally and especially externally? And the interesting thing is, off the back of January, it's like it gives you renewed vigor and renewed self-esteem. And through that self-esteem and being able to really own yourself and say, yeah, you know what, I'm beautiful inside and out, you're going to really discover this ability to say, right, okay, what do I need to change now to get the most out of who I am? March, the Wheel of Fortune, beautiful. So this is about synchronicities. It's about things shaping up for you. And it looks like March is a really lucky month for you. March is going to be the month where you start to see just how lucky you can be, and just how much this positive outlook, this positive vibration that you are fostering, that you are building, this healthier person inside and out, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, especially mentally with the Ace of Swords there. You know, this stronger and lighter and happier being that you're building is almost like a lightning rod for luck and abundance and wealth and good things to come in for you. So March is a lovely month. March is, it looks like there's going to be some travel going on as well. March, expect yourself to be on the road a lot. Absolutely on the road a lot. You get the Two of Wands. March is the month for you to play the lotto. March is the month for you to rub shoulders with the rich and powerful if you know them. If you don't, find a way to rub shoulders with them even more so, because it can bring you some amazing opportunities. March looks like a time where you get headhunted, where you get spotted for something that you're doing. It also looks like you'll have a decision to make, and the reason I say that is because the Wheel of Fortune is this opportunity, this thing that comes out of the blue, spontaneity, you know, spontaneously and synchronistically. The Two of Wands, though, is always it's a card of deep action, but it's a card of affluence, wealth, and it also asks you a very fundamental question. Is what you have now worth what you could have if you made a different decision? And effectively, what does that mean without it being flowery, Raph? What it means is, if you have an opportunity to get ahead, and you have an opportunity to, you know, to change something really big in a big way in your life, are you going to stick with the known and the comfortable? You are a Cancer after all. I'm a Cancer moon. So, you know, this is for some, on some level, this reading's for me as well. And, you know, that's the big question. You know, are you going to stick with what's comfortable and complain about how it's not what you want and blah, blah, blah? Or are you going to step outside your comfort zone and take the opportunities that are granted to you and run with them like, you know, like a wild stallion across a plain? Yeah. Interesting that I mentioned that as well, because Jupiter is linked to the Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter, Sagittarius, horse, plane, centaur, as somebody put in one of the comments, which I thought was hilarious. Like, everybody knows it's a centaur. I'm waffling. April, you get the Chariot card. Look, you know, and this comes down to it. There's going to be a lot of travel for you in the month of April, but over the whole year, it looks like travel is going to be a theme that runs through this year for you. The Chariot card says, yes, this victory. If you have the courage to go after what is new, what is not tried and tested, what does put you out of your comfort zone, ultimate success and strength is what awaits you. The month of April looks like a beautiful month with the Chariot there, and, you know, this feeling of, yeah, you know what, I'm doing it. It's not even a case of like, oh, you know, I'd like to do that. It's a case of you're actually doing it, you know, and you're getting out there and making things happen. With the Eight of Wands, this sees you traveling to lots of rural locations. It also sees you having a lot of conversations, a lot of conversations and correspondence with people at a distance. And in some capacity, A lot of you will be teaching in the month of April, you know, in whatever way, shape or form that takes. For some of you, it could be becoming a teaching assistant. You know, it's that, you know, it could be that small or it can be that large. It really does depend on how much you're willing to kind of go for. But it looks like, you know, March brings you some sort of opportunity. April brings the solidification of that. It also brings you a lot of travel, lots of communication with people at a distance, you know, people that aren't in your everyday vicinity. So May, the Lovers. Okay, this is good. So for those of you that are coupled, this is about, you know, finding that unison, that balance point between you, and, you know, enhancing your relationship and saying, yeah, you know what, let's make the best of it. Let's choose to make the best of it. For those of you that are single, this is when you could invite love into your life. This is when you could really have the experience of, wow, do you know what? Now that I've done all of this work on myself, I'm ready to welcome somebody in. I'm ready to welcome somebody in to love the me that I love, the me that I have created, this stronger, better, more amazing being. Interesting. So let's see what the clarifier is for that. And you get the Knight of Cups. So interesting. You are going to be highly desirable and highly coveted in the month of May. And this is going to be in large part due to the metamorphosis that has taken place. Everything that's changed within you is going to shine outside of you. And by doing that, you're going to attract to you not only love, but offers, you know, like many suitors. I think for those of you that are single, and even for a few of you that aren't single, you know, and sometimes that's good, because in a relationship, if we get comfortable, when somebody comes along and they're like, oh wow, you know, like, who's that? And then your partner's a bit like, you know, they get a bit jealous, or they get, and that's not to say, you know, we want to incite that in people, but sometimes that healthy bit of competition reminds people what they have, whether that's you, whether it's the other person or the other party. But it looks like, Cancer, in the month of May, you are highly desirable, and you will have offer after offer if you are single, and you'll even have a couple of offers even if you're not. So June. You get Judgment. So you got a blast from the past coming your way in the month of June. I don't feel like this is a blast from the past though. What I actually feel like is some situation is coming to a close. Now, usually the Judgment card brings something back so that we can look at it and then examine it and then finally lay it to rest. And therefore, the Judgment card is a big card of change. But the feeling that I get from this is it's like you're just letting something go. Something, it's almost like something withers inside you, and you say, right, okay, you know what, I'm really ready to let that whole situation go now. I'm ready to transcend it and let it go and move past it. So this isn't, you know, for some of you it might be a blast from the past, but I don't feel that. I feel like it's like an internal decision where you just say, actually, you know what, I'm happy to let that go. It's no longer for me. To clarify, Five of Swords, that doesn't mean they're going to want to be let go. And the Five of Swords is about fraught communication. It's a challenge, and this, to me, it's almost like when when you make that decision to move past something or let something go, it's almost like some part of, you know, the other person or the other situation says, well, you know what, I don't accept that. You don't really have a choice. If I'm saying I don't want to interact, I don't want to interact. So June is going to be a challenge for you. June is going to be a month where you really have to stand your ground. It's almost like somebody's going to try to beguile you and, oh yeah, but you know, you remember how good we were together and blah blah blah, all of that, and you're just going to be like, you know what, I really don't want to entertain it. I'm just not interested. Where we were was great, it was epic, it was what it was, but we're not there anymore, and I'm moving forward, I'm moving on. Good for you. You know, stand your ground, really stand your ground. July, coming into birthday season, you get the World card, the Universe card in this deck actually. This is where you take a step up. Now the interesting thing is, in June, you're letting something go. You're letting something or someone go and saying, look, you know what, I don't want that anymore. It's not me, it's not who I am. Then you get the World card in July, which is literally the very next card after. the world card if you were to go in a sequence. And it's basically saying, when you get the world card, it draws a line under what was and clears the decks in order to allow what is. The beauty of this card actually is it represents the planet Saturn. And one of the things, like I always say about Saturn, is it actually does give you the opportunity to have everything that you want. It just requires the work. Unlike Jupiter, who's just like an opportunity whore, will just, you know, chuck opportunity at you after opportunity. Saturn will say, right, okay, well, if you want this, I'll happily give it to you, but you're going to have to work for it. I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. And the world card there in July is basically saying to you, that's it. Now that you've done the work, you draw a line under it, and I'm going to elevate your status. I'm going to change what was into something that now you want to be, which is beautiful. You know, I always see the world card as a blessing, always. Okay, so to clarify, you get the Empress. I mean, for some of you, this is about conception. This is a month where you are highly fertile. You know, because you've laid everything to rest, you've done all this work on yourself physically, you've come into all this, you know, personal strength and abundance, which is super, super powerful. I absolutely love that. And then you get the Empress card, which is saying, you know, once you've drawn a line under what was, you then come into what is, and you build, you know, you've got the Empress. You know, you can create whatever it is that you choose. You can make whatever it is that you choose. Some really interesting stuff with the numerology here as well. The universe card is number 21, even though it's number 22, but you know what I mean. Which 2 and 1 gives you 3. The Empress is number 3. So there's kind of that in there. This is, so for some of you, like I said, this is the month where you conceive, where you finally get pregnant. If you don't want that, July is a time to be very careful. Off the back of this as well, if there are any final schmoozes or trysts with somebody that you're trying to phase out, be very careful, because the chances are you'll get caught with that surprise pregnancy. Just saying. For others of you, you're moving. This is about a change in status. So, you know, becoming a parent, changing where you live for good, moving somewhere, you know, somewhere else, somewhere that's more beneficial for you or suits you better as the person that you are now. Stunning, really, really stunning. And for those of you June and July Cancerians, happy birthday. August, you get the Moon card, so you're deeply reflective, which, you know, it's interesting because this has happened for a few signs. And when you move into August, you're going into the first month of your new year. The sun's travelled the whole zodiac and brought you all of this knowledge. August, you're looking over the past. You're looking over all of the events that have taken place this year, and you're really reflecting over what's happened in June, July, and August, and June and July. So August is a month where you're really looking at things and saying, right, okay, I'm going to look at this as it is instead of as I would have liked it to have been. What have I learnt here? What can I take away from it? And also the Moon card is basically asking you to get more in touch with your instincts. What do your instincts say? And I'm not talking just about your intuition. I'm talking about, like, you know, your gut instinct, or the deep recesses of your mind, delving into who you really are to understand that person. This is really interesting. So as a timeline, May, you got loads of offers coming in, single and taken, you know, like getting lots of attention, making you feel even better about all of the hard work that you've done on yourself. June, you're letting someone or something go and deciding, you know what, that isn't for me anymore. I'm not in that place. July, some sort of status change. If you're single, you become partnered. If you're partnered, you become, you know, you get engaged. If you're engaged, you become married. If you're married already, you become parents. You know, it's a status change. For a lot of you though, I really do see a move, like literally a physical move, like you're moving house. August, then looking over the past, how you got to where you are, and then you're looking at, what are you looking at? What are you observing? What are you reflecting on? You're reflecting on your connections, your partnerships. You're reflecting on your relationships, especially your big relationship. I feel like in August, a lot of you that are partnered, even after all of this, will be asking yourself the grand question: is this right for my future, and do I really want to pursue with it? You know, and it's not an easy question to ask, but it's going to be a worthy one. You're going to do so much changing and so much powerful evolving this month, this year. You know, don't stop yourself at all. September, and more importantly, don't let any relationship stop you or hold you back. It's almost like you're going to be observing the patterns of your relationships, and you're going to be saying, right, okay, I usually do this, or I usually allow people to do that, and I'm not doing that anymore. You've already reached the milestone of not accepting certain things. So, you know, August is going to be a building on that. September, the Tower card. Yeah, so some kind of finite ending. Something comes to a close. Something comes to an end here. And at the end of the day, it's always a good thing. Because when we have the Tower card, it removes things that are not solid or stable. It removes things that are not beneficial for us. It removes things that are, quite frankly, ready to die, or ready to, if it doesn't evolve, if it doesn't change, it will have to go. That's how the Tower operates. And in hindsight, we always come to see that it's actually done us a favour and liberated us from something. To clarify, the Three of Wands. So the Tower card is basically saying, you are thinking too small. You know, and it's funny because obviously you're going over certain things in your relationships and whatnot in August, and the Tower card happens to show up in September, and it's like, no, you're thinking too small. You're not thinking, you know, you've got all of this stuff, amazing stuff that's happened, and because you've had a shaky experience or two, it's almost like you're trying to forget all of the amazing strides that you've made forward. No, expand your vision, remember how much you've grown, and remember how much you still have to do. The Three of Wands is also a windfall. You know, it could be a surprise pot of money that comes to you. With the Tower card there, it could likely be more like an inheritance than a, you know, than a lottery win, but it's still a possibility. You know, anything that you do online as well, and I'm not saying go and gamble the bank away, I'm just saying, like, if you feel drawn to something that month, and you know it's online, and you think, oh, you know what, I'll put my name in that hat, with these two combination, it could very well be quite good for you. But yeah, it looks likely like you're going to be forced to look at things in a bigger and bolder way. October, the Sun card, beautiful. So once the Tower settles, once the dust and the rubble are cleared, you get the Sun card in October, which gives you strength and power and light and enjoyment and love. And it's like you finally remember, oh yeah, I've done all of this amazing stuff. Oh yeah, okay. Actually, this year hasn't been a complete shit show just because I've had a couple of challenges. Actually, it's been amazing. There's been some really amazing growth and really amazing experiences and enjoyment. And you're traveling yet again. September looks like travel. October, definitely more travel. April's travel. March is travel. January, you know, lots and lots of travel here. Lots of travel. So October, I mean, you get the Ten of Cups. Really? Like, really? You couldn't even ask for any more than that. The Sun card, happiness, joy, optimism, blessings, surprises, happy, beautiful, wonderful surprises. The Ten of Cups, total wish fulfillment. Something so happy, so abundant that you can share it with the people that you love and care for most. There is definitely a windfall of some sort, like a good chunk of money comes in September, and October you get to enjoy the fruits of that. And some sort of personal goal or aspiration also shapes up for you as well, because the Ten of Cups is you know, it's a wish fulfilled. So nobody really wishes for an inheritance because we know what that might mean. But we do wish for, you know, for that thing that we've put together to finally be accepted, you know, whether it's the book, the blog, the website has gone up, or anything that you've wished for that you've kind of put effort into, in October shapes up wonderfully for you. In terms of September and October, there is definitely some kind of windfall or some kind of surprise money shaping up for you, and it's something that you can enjoy in October. November, you get the Emperor. This is asking you to get committed. What are you going to commit yourself to? What are you going to stick with? What are you going to stand by? For some of you, this will be, you know, a month where you say to yourself, actually, you know what, I'm going to stick up for this. For others of you, this is the decision to go back to school or get, not necessarily qualified, but it's almost like you decide to go into something that is going to be beneficial for your long-term future, you know. And the Emperor card sees you being committed to it. It's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to stick with it, I'm going to go for it. November looks like a very brave month for you as well. You know, you're being braver than you have for a long time, I guess. Whoa. Whoa, look at that double hit of the Emperor. So if you do have any surgeries, because the Emperor as it represents like the smaller establishments that make up the larger establishments, so it can be police officers, it can be institutions, it can be schools, universities, it can be hospitals as well. For any of you that are going in for any surgeries, you'll be in and out in a flash. And I mean like literally in and out in a flash. You will be fine, you will be looked after, and you will have the best surgeon, doctor, whatever that you can possibly have. November, if you have anything and you go in for it and you think, oh my gosh, like I'm worried about this, you don't have anything to worry about because you'll be well looked after. It's like you'll have the peak or the best of the best. In terms of you personally, you're being brave, you're going out there, you're doing things on your own terms, and ultimately you're choosing to commit to life. You're choosing to commit to being, you know, to being a real liver of life. And finally, December, the Hierophant card. Interesting, because this is the card that follows on from the Emperor in these cards. You've got a double hit of that energy actually, haven't you? Because you got the World after the Judgment card. You got the Hierophant after the Emperor. So I talked about the Emperor being the institutions. The Hierophant then is the establishment. So for those of you that are going back to school, specifically for those of you that are deciding to commit to something, whether it's marriage, whether it's, you know, any of that stuff, November and December look like really good times for you. And it's like you're making things reality. So you've done all of this internal dreaming, changing, you've put things into place, you've made things happen, you've looked after your physical health, you changed internally, you've had fun, you've traveled. It's going to be a massive, massive year. And then in December, you put all of this into practice, and more importantly, all of it into perspective. And then finally, to clarify, the Hanged Man. So you are taking stock, you know, perfect timing really, December, you know, because the Hanged Man is about taking a step back. It's about reassessing, reevaluating. It's about standing back and saying, right, okay, let's just observe what is. Let's become enlightened here. The Hanged Man also represents institutions, like, so things like hospitals, asylums, you know, it could be any of that stuff. So if you are spending any time after a surgery, like I said, you'll be in and out in a flash. It will be a success and you will be happy and you will be fine. But it looks like December's a time of reflection, and it looks like it's a kind of, it's the type of reflection that comes, that's almost like imposed. So once you have a surgery and stuff, you know, for those of you that do, it's like after you've got the recovery time where you have to sit, you know, have to rest to get better. For others of you, this is about you taking time away. This is about you saying, look, you know what, I've had this amazing year, I want to do something completely different. I feel like for some of you, you will be seeking to change. So if you're usually the stay-at-home cook a roast type of person for Christmas, you'll be seeking to change that, to do something completely different. And I see you spending the holidays elsewhere. So, your key to the year. What do you need to know? What is the overarching or overriding theme? And it is the moon. Moon child. That is you. You are Cancer, the moon child. And this basically says, reflect, take time. Remember that we are cyclic beings, and therefore you know, and who more better to say this to than a Cancerian? Because you are ruled by the moon, you're changeable, you're adaptive, but you're also cyclic. And when I say that, sometimes it can be a really good thing, but I feel like the moon card is saying to you, your key to the year for 2019 is do not get stuck in a rut and do not get stuck in your usual cycles. Every time you're presented with a situation, experience, or a person, do what you usually wouldn't do. Yeah, rather than walking down the same path and saying, oh, okay, well, you know, usually when this happens, I would do this. Do something different, change it, switch it up. Because the second you switch it up, you'll be stepping into this amazing different life, this amazing different self. And also 1 and 8, the number of the moon card, 1 and 8 gives you 9. 9 is the number of completion in numerology. Completion, elevation, and enlightenment. You know, and you can gain a lot of that wisdom in December with the Hanged Man there especially. You know, it looks like some of you are going on some sort of pilgrimage as well. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing year. I will see you very soon for all of your next month and weekly videos. Take care. See you soon.